Okay. So when I say this is a raw document, what I mean is there's no formatting in this document. What I did is I took the document in a formatted form. I copied it, opened a blank document, and then dropped it in without any code. So there are no codes on here. And what we're going to do is going to convert this into a document that looks really good. Ultimately, I want to emphasize that you can create a document on your own that will look professionally formatted. And it's not as complicated as you would imagine. And I'm going to focus, as I said in the email, on only a few things, but you could basically do the whole thing with knowing only a few of these things. So this is a document. It's on 8.5 by 11 paper. I'm not even sure what the font size is or anything like that. It's all going to change. So let me just get going. And again, if you have any questions, just tell me to stop. Ron, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to the image issue with you, but we can deal with that down the road.
Okay, thank you.
It took me a little bit of time to figure out how to do that separately, but I think I have it. So what I want to do is I want to convert this into a 6 by 9 document. You can do it any number of sizes. Another common size is 5.5 by 8.5 for Kindle or for KDP. And just let me say something, KDP has changed in the last few months so that you can actually take the exact same document in Word that you then convert to a PDF for printing it either as a paperback or a hardcover, and you can just upload that as your ebook to Kindle. You couldn't do that in the old days. Now you can do it, and basically all of your formatting will carry through. The only change you'd want to consider making is the table of contents if you have one. Otherwise, you can use the exact same document for all of these purposes. Okay, and you will use the exact same document for both if you go paperback and hardcover because it's the same PDF. The only caveat there is that if you put your ISBN in the document itself, you have to make sure the right one is there. What I do is if I have 3 versions, I put the 3 ISBNs in the front on the front cover sheet, so I don't have to worry about that either. Okay, so we're going to start with this document of this size, and it's simply layout is size of paper. The first step is let's get it to 6 by 9 for the whole document and say, okay, there we go. Oh, one thing to do is when you get this started, you always want to make sure that you save it. So I'm going to save a copy. You give it a new name if you'd like, and then say, okay, well, now what I suggest is down the road, once you have a document in the proper formatting, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. What I do is I will take an existing document. The first thing I will do is rename it because I have it set for autosave. So if I start editing an old document I liked and I don't rename it, it's editing the old document I liked. So you would give it the new title and so the old one is safe. Although Word now allows you to go back and get earlier versions of it if you screw up, which I have done. I know this from experience. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is styles. All the style is, it's the parameters for a paragraph. And that's the most important thing to know. It has your font size, your font name, the type of font, justification, spacing, anything you want in there is your style. And so for this document, I want to have 3 styles, and those are, as I mentioned, text, first paragraph, and heading. So I'm going to do a style because almost the entire document is in text. I'm going to do that. I'm going to style the first paragraph. It just happens to be, I can do this in any paragraphs and just highlight the paragraph. It opens this, or you can go to home here, and I'm just going to give the name Times New Roman and 12. I'm going to do all of the things I want for this paragraph. Okay, for what my default is normal is this, what you see here. I want to be single spaced, nothing between the paragraphs, and first line, point 2, and justified. You can do it however you want. This is how I like it. And I say, okay, this is how it looks. And so what I want to do is give this the style name. Again, home style, and it says create a style, and I will simply say text. Boom. This is now the text style, and because almost as I say, the entire document is going to be in text style, I do this. I do Control A, which highlights the whole document. I go home, whoa, wrong button, sorry. Home, style, text. Now this whole document now, however many hundred, this is 100,000 words in it, I think. Although I just cut out about 20,000 this morning. This whole document is now this particular style. Okay, you may note the margins are big off, you can do these in any number of orders and I will take care of the margins shortly. Okay, so that's style number one. Now the whole document is style number one. Okay, style number two will be for the first paragraph. And what that means is the first paragraph of a chapter will be identical to the text style, but no indent. So I hit the right button, or I can go to home, paragraph, first line, none, everything else is the same. Okay, boom. I do exactly what I did before, which was hit, in this case, you could hit the right button on your mouse, the right button, style, create a new style, and you can, first paragraph. Boom. So that when I go down to the second the second chapter, and it'll be easier later. Here's the second, happens to be the second chapter. First paragraph of the second chapter, I hit the right button, opens the style, first paragraph. Boom. Now I do that because I like that style, because ultimately this is what I'm going to do. Going to get a drop cap, okay, for my first, and we'll do that down the road, but let me leave it like that. Finally, the third thing is the third style is heading. Heading 1 is a built-in style in Word. And the reason for that is it will be, when you generate a table of contents, the first thing it looks for is what is called heading 1. And you can see there's heading 1, there's heading 2, and you can go as many heading levels as you want, but this is heading 1. Now, obviously, I don't like that heading. I'm going to do this to make life easier. Okay, that's heading 1. And that's a number. Okay, whoa, ignore that. Okay, so what I want to do here is do exactly what I did when I created the first paragraph style, which is I want to turn this in, make this look exactly as I want it to look, which is, so I highlight it. Let's do a Times New Roman as my font. Let's make it 14. It has to be black, font black. I want it to be centered. Okay, I also don't want it to be indented at all, so you want to check that. I want it single space, and I want 12 points after it, okay. And there is, bear with me. So I do exactly what I did before, which is I'm in this, I hit style. You can see what style you're in because it gets a gray border. I hit the right button, update. That's now what the heading 1 will look like. So we have 3 styles here. Heading 1, first paragraph, text. And let's bounce down to where the second, where the second chapter is. I hit style, just as I did with the paragraph, first paragraph, heading, boom. Okay, and those are the 3 styles you need. Now, one thing about a heading style is the following. You can set it up. It always comes with these 3, okay? And then you can add this page break before, okay? We are not going to put a page break before, and I'll tell you why, right? So in other words, this keep with next means your chapter title will always be with the first line of your chapter. Now, the reason you don't put that page break before is because, and I'll explain exactly what I'm doing in a second, because this is what you want to put before, a section break, okay? So let's get into do you have any questions? I know I go pretty quickly. No questions. Okay. Now, so let's go to the beginning here. And I'm going to put a page break right here. Okay, why? Before you get to a document, you're going to have a lot of stuff. And let me just see, I may not be so good at doing this. So hold on a second. Stop share. Let me find, I'm sorry, let me find. Where did it go? Where did my, great, sorry. Oh, share screen, that's what I'm looking for. Let me look for, well, let me pull up this book, okay? Because I've been creating a book, a package of classic novels. Okay, and this happens to be Elizabeth Gaskell, and it's not even, I'm not even finished with it yet, but you have all of this stuff before you get to the first page, right? And here's the first page of the novel, and I wanted this to be page 1 and this to be page 2. So these pages have to have separate numbering system, and the way that is done is, where are we here? By creating a new section. Now you can view a section as a drawer in a dresser, okay? The style is the contents of the drawer, the individual drawer is the section. And the reason that's important is because I want to number this as number 1, as page number 1, okay? Let me pull up the reveal, what I call reveal code. It says section break begins on the next page. What we want to do is begin this as page number 1. So you simply put your cursor in the section, the header. This is the header, which will become it. We're gonna use that a lot. And you see up here, it drops down page number, format page number, and your 2 options are continue or start. For this particular section, I want to start it at page 1. Okay. Now let me, I kind of jumped ahead of myself because, let me pause for a second. Okay. And go to layout. Okay. Layout. Okay. When you're doing a manuscript, you have 3 different pages in the book. You obviously have an odd number page and an even number page. A Word allows you to control that, how the book opens. So on an odd number page, you would put the title, most all likely put the title of the book and the page number, and on the even number page, you would put the author's name and the page number. The 3rd page is the first page of the section. Okay, so let's just walk through that, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So this is page, you go to layout, page setup, and it'll, you have to do a little trial and error with this, okay? Different odd and even, different first page. Those are the options you want to have for the whole document. Different odd and even, different first page, okay? And you'll see how that impacts it in a second. So this is page 1. This will be on the right side. This is page 2. So this is the author, and let's do, I'll put my name on here.
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, can I just say something? Having worked in publishing, isn't page 1 always on the right-hand side?
It will be on the right-hand side. You'll see that, and you may
Put
have
it
to
on
do
the
some
left-hand
manipulation
side.
because in fact, if you don't have page 1 on the right side, things get really messy. Okay, you're absolutely right. Page 1 will be on the right side, but you have to manipulate it to make sure that's the case. Okay, we'll see how we do that in a second. Okay, so here's my name, but I want the page number on the left side. So I want to put the page number, current position, boom. Then let's do 2 spaces. I like to do this line and then tab it over. Let's not worry about that tabbing yet. Okay, that's page, you see, now we have, this is an even page number header, okay? It only appears there. So when I go to here, let's put, let's put the name of this draft, Becoming. I'll fix that later. Tab, page number, current position, boom. And again, this would be changed as what I would do in the headers is as follows. I would have on the odd number pages, I will have this at a center tab and this on the right margin. On the even pages, that's on the left margin already, and then I would have this centered, but I'm not doing that right now. That's pretty easy to do, but I'm not doing it quite yet. So I'd have two tabs here, so that's the problem. We'll worry about that later. Now you can see, so this is how, yes, ideally, this is how you'd be looking at this document. This should be on the right hand. This is, okay, this is page 2, page 3, page 4 and 5, 5 and 6, etc. Okay, that's why you want a section, a new section for the text itself. Okay, so let's move on. We'll address some of these. Let's get to, remember, I put in a section break before chapter 2. So you can see this is the first page of a new section. Therefore, it has no header, no page number. It's nice and clean. And now even and odd. Okay. Let me, because it looks kind of crazy to me. So let me do this. Let me go to the margins. Let me just custom margins for the whole document. And let's do 10 and 7 on the bottom, left, sorry, mirror margins, okay, inside and outside. Let's make 9.9 in the inside and 0.6 on the outside. You'll really be able to see what I'm talking about here when I do that. Yeah, so you see? So this is how it would ultimately look. This would be your right-hand page. You can see why if this was on the left side, it would be a problem with this big margin on the inside. This is page 2 and 3, 3 and 4. So now you can see the margins, and you may have to make adjustments down the road if they're too small or too big. And KDP is pretty good at allowing you to do that. So then you would just do this, and that's. Now, going back to the header, I kind of put off of this. Okay, all you need to do here is work the tabs. Okay, tabs, clear all the tabs. Now I know the paper is 6 inches. I have what, 0.6 and 0.9, that's 1.5. So that's the area here is 4.5. So what I want to do is, I think that's right, 2.25 for the center set, and then 4.5 for the right set. Let's see how that looks. See what happens when I do this. Boom. And because I'm telling it it's a different header for odd numbers from even, I have to do the same thing here. Paragraph, tab, clear all, and that is 2.25 is the center. I don't have to worry about the right set. There we are. Now that's basically, now you're looking at a document that is, as far as I'm concerned, pretty ready to go. I capitalize this. Let's do that. Right. Because to me, the header makes such a difference in terms of how professional the document looks. In terms of, I see there's a chapter here. So all I would want to do is layout, insert a break, section break, next page. Go here to the 5, whatever it is, 5. That's heading 1. Go here. That's first paragraph. Go here. I put this up on top, so it's easy to use. And that's the next page of the next chapter. It's as simple as that. Okay. It's a lot of, okay. Now I will note that this is actually a manual number, and I would prefer it to be a coded number. But that's, you know, we can address that if we do a later thing. So far, what questions do I have? I know I have some. Nothing?
No. Yeah.
Okay. So we're talking styles. I said So this is your first paragraph. Okay. Knowing about, we put 3 styles in this document, and the question is, well, what else could there be? Well, anything you want to do, you can create a style for. I just did something for someone where she had a lot of text messages. So I created a texting style. So each of the text messages look the same, but here we happen to have a letter. Okay. I want the letter to stand out. A letter contains several components. It contains a date, it contains a dear line, it contains the text, and it contains the signing off line, which is probably, there's a word for that, I don't know what it is. So what I want to do is I want to take this letter, because I have a bunch of these in this document, and it could be text messages or something like that, what do you have frequently? And so I want to highlight the paragraph, and I want to make this paragraph look exactly how I'd like it to look in the text. This is how I like it. I like it to have 0.2 indent. It still has this first line indent, 0.2, and I want it to be 6 point before, 6 point after every paragraph, except if the paragraphs are the same style. So I hit OK, I hit boom, okay. I want to italicize it, and I can put these, take these on or off, and then I do this. I want to just do exactly what I did before, which was create a style, and I'm going to call it letter. Just call it letter body, okay? Well, this is part of the same letter. You notice it put a space there. I have 2 more paragraphs here that are that style. We'll see what happens to that space. Letter body, boom, that space is gone. Now I have, that's the 4th style we have. Let's go to the date. What do I want to do with the date? I want it to be of the letter. I want it to be right. I want it to be right justified. It'll be into because of, and I want it to, I'm sorry. And I want it to be 0.2 right, so it lines up, and I want it to have 0.6 after and 0.6 before. Doesn't matter if I hit this, because when you put a date on, there will never be a date before or after. Okay. I want to keep having done it, I realized I want to keep it with the next. Okay. Okay. So it pops up there. Let's italicize it. And then simply hit the right button on the mouse, hit style, I'm sorry, it's up here. Create a style and just call it letter date. Okay. And then this is another style. Let's just do the exact same thing. Once I've done this, every time I have a letter, it'll be the same. I don't want any, I want this to be indented to left indent, but I don't want it to be indented. I don't want the first line indented. 0.6, 0.6.
Joseph, can I just ask on the pagination slide, there's widow orphan control. What does that mean?
A widow orphan control is, usually it'll default to it. What a widow orphan control does is it prevents there being a single line as the last line of a page or the first line of a page. So you won't have a widow or an orphan. It'll keep those 2 lines together. And it tends to be always on. Okay. So there, and let me call this, I'm just going to call it dear. Okay, now you notice I didn't italicize it. So what I want to do is I want to change that, call it dear, and then if I hit the right button, style, hold on, it says, then hit the right button again, update dear to match selection. Okay, so if you don't like what a style looks like, you can always change it and then simply conform the style. For example, if this is a paragraph, this is, let's say I want to make it 14, okay? And so I change that one paragraph. If I change something in a paragraph itself, if I don't do anything else, it will not affect the style. But if I hit right button, style, hit the right button again, update text, you'll see what happens. The whole document is now I'm going to undo all that because when you change the text style, it creates issues. The final thing I'll do is this one here, doing exactly the same thing, paragraph. I'm going to make it another style, and that's, let's indent this. well, 10 minutes to go. Okay, hold on. So I'm gonna be quick here. Let's indent it 2.5. Okay, done. Okay. 6, 6, don't add. Okay, boom. Create, and then we'll apply this elsewhere. Style, create a style, letter, end. Okay. And then apply this style to the rest of it. Where's letter end, letter end? And you can see that it has a 6 point above it, 6 point after it, etc. So I wanted to, here's another letter, okay? So I wanted to create that so I could show you what the to do. So now I have that, I have those 5 style, 6 or 7, however many. Oh, I came up with another letter, and all I need to do is go style, date, letter date, style, to dear, style, letter body, style, letter end. This is a PS, so it gets letter body. Boom. I've taken care of that so I don't have to worry about that style anymore. You can see that this should be italicized. So then I'll do this, exactly what I did before, which is update it. If you make a mistake, it's easy to fix. Letter end. See, now that's italicized. And so if I go through the document, you know, there's another letter here, the exact same thing. Now I basically set this document up to go through the whole document, because here's a chapter beginning. All I need to do is put in you can see there's a header here, layout, break, next page. It goes. And that's the beauty of the styles. I now can go through, I can put the heading 1, first paragraph, and then manually put in a drop cap. You can see now the header's gone from that page because it's a first page of the section. And then this is an even number page, odd number page for the whole thing. Now, this is not the right font, and all I need to, it doesn't look like the right font. It's not, so conform this to Times New Roman 12, boom, and it picks it up for the whole document. And that's all I needed to do. Once I go through and I identify each of the paragraphs, each of the chapters, and do that slight modification, you can see this is here. I'll do one last thing here. And I'll explain in a second. I just want this centered. I want 6 point, okay. I have and just create a new style. I call it stars, whatever. Boom. So wherever this appears in the document, I just put that style on it, and I don't have to worry about anything else. And so that's the beauty of this. Is another chapter. This is the last one I'll do. Break. That Kitty and the baby. Heading 1. First paragraph. Drop cap. And I'm done. Okay. And that's basically, there's a letter. I can do the same thing, run the style through the letter. Now, at the end of the day, if I create a table of contents, I'll do that quickly. You'll see. Just do this here. Insert reference, table of contents. Boom. Now I'm going to have to change. I want to change the fonts for this, and that would be that's another style. You make the changes, but this is as I go through. These are all my chapters. They pick up, they go through, they identify what the chapters are. They saw there was no chapter 4, which is in here somewhere. And then once you modify it, there's chapter 4. So let's see what happens. I'm just going to do this part, style, heading 1. So if I then redo, Control A, F9, update the entire table. Ooh, paragraph 4, chapter 4 has now appeared. Okay. And that's basically the nuts and bolts of having a formatted document. There are other things to be done. And I'll be happy to do another one of these to deal with those, but that's basically what we're talking about here. 5 or 6 or 7 styles, and you go through your whole document. And once you've done the document that is to your satisfaction, you can use that as your template for doing other documents down the road. What you would do then is simply save this to KDP. I mean, save this as an Adobe. Save. And that Adobe is what would be, and I don't know what you guys see on the screen, but that Adobe is what you, that KDP, I'm sorry, that PDF is what you simply upload to KDP as your text file. It's as simple as that. And if you see a problem as you're uploading it, or when you've uploaded it and you look at the KDP preview, you just come back and modify it to get it right. If you send it in and you get a proof and the margins are too big, too small, you modify them and you send it back. One thing you have to, I'll say about margins is if you change the margins of the text, you have to go and fix the margins on the headers. Otherwise, they won't be centered and they won't be right justified. They won't be on the right margin. Now there got to be questions.
I was going to say, is this the same process for ebook?
If for a KDP ebook, you would simply upload this as a Word document. You can now, in the old days, you couldn't upload a Word document. It wouldn't work properly. I can upload this to KDP as an ebook, and it will not have the headers. It will not have the page numbers. It'll have the drop caps. It'll have the page breaks. The only change I would make is to the table of contents, because if I have a table of contents in KDP, in ebook, it would be centered. But that table of contents, when I create it here and then I upload it to KDP, they will be linked. So you can go to the ebook and the links will actually take you to the chapters. They've already integrated the links. So you can take this. That's the only change you have to make if you're going to KDP.
They made it a lot easier then.
Yeah.
I remember that being completely
I think I'm about to
different.
lose everyone. Okay. So that's one of the new things that you can do with KDP is simply upload it. The only change, as I say, is rather than having the table of contents spread out, you have the table of contents centered. And that takes a little tiny bit of formatting with the table of contents. It's not a big deal. The other thing you'd want to do is you'd probably want to upload the image of your face page, not your cover, your facing page, to your Word document, which is simply inserting an image. That's a little bit more complicated. But the big difference is that when you go to upload it for a paperback, I have the capacity on Adobe to organize the pages so I can delete pages or not delete pages so that I'm sure that the first page of the document is on the right-hand side. Okay, and if it's not, what happens is you get a really big error message on KDP saying your margins are all screwy because they're on, and I've done this because they're on the wrong side. Because if you put in one extra page, it moves everything off one. But you get the chance to see that as you're either in KDP or in Adobe doing the PDF.
Do you have to upload to KDP for a paperback in a PDF?
Yes, you have to upload for a paperback in KDP, you have to upload both the text and the cover as a PDF file. As
a PDF, yeah. But can you upload to the ebook in the PDF, or does that have to be Word?
I don't think you can upload the PDF. I may be wrong.
Right.
You don't need to, because you can now. I used to go to Draft to Digital and upload it, create an EPUB version. Then I would upload the EPUB version to KDP. Now I can simply upload the Word version as a Word document to KDP, and that's fine. Okay, that is a change they've made. I just because that's how I do it. I haven't looked at what alternatives there are, so I upload for the ebooks both a Word document and a JPEG document for the cover for the ebook. But for the paperback and the hardcover, they both have to be PDFs, or at least that's the way I do them. Okay, we're in the less than a minute to go. Any other questions at this point? Do people want me to set up so we can do a follow-up or something like that? I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I have your emails. So why don't you let me know what you want to do, when you want to do it? I can just set this up. I can do it probably next week as well to do a follow-up, take a look at it. If you want to send me any versions,